Hello guys and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be helping anybody who is thinking about becoming a reseller. This is going to be the beginner's guide of being a reseller. Anybody who's thinking about being a reseller or is quite new to being a reseller, this is the breakdown of everything you need to know to become I would say, a successful reseller, or even if it's just a bit of a cash in hand from your, from your other job, bit of side hustling. This is the video for you. I'm going to be going down all the points. I've got a piece of paper. There's 6 points that you need to do. So get a pen and piece of paper ready because you need to know these points to basically be successful on eBay or any place that you're going to sell your items that you buy. So if you don't know what a reseller is basically buying stuff from anywhere and then reselling it on a platform or privately, like a carboot or to a person anywhere. It doesn't make any difference. As long as you resell the item, you're basically making money on something that you bought for cheaper, got for free. It doesn't matter where you got it, but you're making a profit. And that's what a reseller is. It's pretty much basic, it's easy. We've all done it. We've all bought stuff and then sold it. Everybody has been a reseller, but this is if you really want to become a business or make a lot of money, or maybe put a bit more money in your pocket because your job's not paying enough. It's very simple to do. People think it's hard. Yes, it is hard if you want to make lots of money, but if you want to make a bit of cash in hand or a bit of pocket money, this is brilliant, and you don't really have to do much. It depends how much you want to make. So I'm going to go through point 1 first, and that is time. How much time do you really want to spend? There's 3 points that you need to know. Are you full-time worker, are you a part-time worker, or you're unemployed? Depending on what you are then, obviously time is an issue. If you are full-time, you're not going to have as much time to actually buy items, sell items, because it does take a while to do that. But if you are full-time, I suggest going through sites and maybe picking a day when you're not working and to go around charity shops, car boots, because that's the only time you've got. If you've got a couple of days off in a week, maybe choose one to buy stuff, and then maybe after work on one night, that's when you can list the items. If you're self-employed, then you've got more time. I would say pick a few days where you can go around charity shops, car boots, and the other days you're not working and list the items, because to do it all in one day is very hard. Buying stuff and then listing them on the same day is quite hard. So I would say give one day where you're picking a lot, going around charity shops or wherever you're going to get the stuff, and then the next day maybe spending a whole day taking the pictures and then list them on whatever sites you're going to list them on. Finally, if you are unemployed, then you've got as much time as you want. You could go and look for items halfway through the week, or split it up 50-50, like at the start of the week look for items to buy, and then in later in the week sell stuff. Or you could do one day, then one day list, one day pick, one day list. Totally up to you. Or you could just do it a couple of days a week, and then not do anything for the rest of the week. But obviously, being unemployed, you're not going to have as much money, so you got to be careful on what you spend. Maybe just pick stuff that's quite cheap, that's not going to break the bank. Obviously, when you're unemployed, you're not going to have much money. It just costs money. So maybe think about where you are and what's around you. Maybe just only go to charity shops where you're walking around, or if you have got a budget, then stick to that budget. Now you've decided your time scales, when you're doing stuff and when you're picking stuff and when you're selling stuff and when you're putting stuff on social media sites and wherever you're putting them and selling them. You need to find out where you're going to buy the items. Where are the best places to go to buy things which are going to be cheap? Which things are going to be best placed to sell? Is there a certain place which is better than another? And to be all honest, there is no better place than another place. Every day is different. You could go one place one day and you could pick up 20 items, but you could go there the week after and not pick up any. It's all draw of the luck. Obviously, you won't be the only person who's doing this. There would be lots of people doing it, but what you need to do is you need to sort of like, I would say, get to know the places, get to know the people. So if it is charity shops, get to know the people so they know you. Be friendly to them. Some of my charity shop people know that I'm a reseller, and they're very friendly. They always know when I'm coming. I pop in quite a few days in the week because they're quite local to me. Other ones I see once a week, and also get to know them on Facebook. You know, they might message you throughout Facebook or say, I've got this coming in, I've just got this coming, are you interested? Because they know you're a regular spender. And in the end of the day, people in charity shops want to make money for the charities. And if you're spending maybe £20-30 a week in a charity shop, you're going to be a very good customer to them. So the places where I would go would be charity shops. Charity shops are open all year round, so you're going to have constant money, constant places to buy stuff. With the only thing about charity shops is obviously they do sell on eBay, the major ones, so they do sort of like price up a lot of their items. Sometimes they don't, but it doesn't mean you can't make a bargain of them. It all depends on how much money you want to make. Obviously, the more you get used to it, the more well-known items you know that you might not be happy with a £5 profit. You might want to be a sort of person that I only want to make £20 or £30 every time I buy something. And sometimes, yeah, that's fine. But other times you need to buy stuff that is sellable. You know, I would rather have 5 things that sell at £5 and I know they go than just not buy anything, because the more stock you get, the more stuff will sell and the more profit you'll make. It's just a constant cycle where you just need to keep on recycling your stock, keep on buying, and obviously the more you buy, the more you sell, the more profit you get. Next place is car boots. Obviously, car boots don't open all year round. In the winter period, for about 3 months, they're closed because of obviously the weather. But car boots, I would say, are by far the best place to get bargains. You can haggle. Charity shops, you don't really want to haggle because it's a charity shop. You know, you're giving back to charity. But car boots, you could haggle. And there is so much different ranges. You can buy anything on a car boot. Also, what charity shops don't have is people who just sell anything, right? For instance, at car boots, you get people who do house clearances, and basically they made their money doing the house clearances. So they just chuck everything on the floor. They don't care what it is, and they'll sell something like a camera, which is probably worth about £20-30 for £2. So you can always pick up bargains. And of course, the more experience you get, the more you get to know what you want to buy. You might start getting into a niche market, so you might actually enjoy buying cameras, so you just sell cameras. You might like buying trainers. And on these car boots, there's so many different sellers. People actually do go to car boots just to buy certain things because they can't get them anywhere else, and there is actual traders who deal in just trainers, and you can buy trainers. And obviously, like the charity shops, get to know these people who trade every week, because they will do bargains for you. They'll do deals for certain items for you because they recognize you. So it's good to get to know these car boots. Obviously, car boots are, I would say, usually about 3 a week, I would say. But if you've got a car, then you could travel around. Just make sure that if you do travel quite a distance, you make sure it's worth it, because you don't want to go to a car boot, spend loads of petrol, and then end up not picking anything. Another place is jumble sales. Me personally, I haven't been to a jumble sale because where I live, I don't think there is any. If you live in a bigger area, maybe a city or big town, you probably will have jumble sales. They do a lot of vintage sales where you do 1 kilo bag of vintage clothing, which is quite good because you can get a lot of clothing for like a £5, as long as it weighs 1 kilo, and you could probably get yourself about 50 quid's worth of clothes if you're clever, and pick the right things, pick the lighter things. Jumbo sales are great because it's just usually in a hall, and they're just chucking everything out. It's just mayhem. I saw somebody recently go to a jumbo sale, and it was just crazy. But he bought a Wii for like £3 and they're worth 20 quid. It's worth going to one if you can find one, because you're going to find a lot of bargains. It's very similar to a car boot. You're going to find a lot of bargains, and it's worth going if you can find one. The other place is social media. So places like Facebook, Vinted, Depop, any place that sells stuff, you can obviously buy it and resell it. All these places you can find free stuff. People are getting rid of free stuff. People are getting selling stuff for cheap. So for instance, Vinted, I buy trainers off there which for under a fiver, which are in decent condition, and then I'll sell them, maybe depending on what trainers are, maybe for 20-30 quid, making a 20 quid profit. Sometimes you're very lucky and you can find some really good ones. It's not just trainers, it's clothing. Also the same as Facebook, you can find bundles. Like recently I bought a bundle of Nerf guns for £15, and I think I made about 50 quid profit after I've sold. I've still got a few left. But one gun was worth more than the whole of the bundle. Think about buying stuff on social media. You don't even have to leave the house. So if you find it hard to travel on social media, going on like a Vinted, buying stuff on there. I know somebody who actually just buys trainers, and he buys trainers on Vinted and then resells them, and he's making 20-30 quid profit off every pair of trainers because he knows his trainers. So you can still make great profits without even leaving your house. But the first thing I would do if you are starting to resell and you're a complete newbie is doing it in a place like this. And I mean your own house. You've probably got loads of junk in your house right now that you don't use. There's probably stuff in your garage, in your shed, everywhere. Ask your parents, ask your friends, any other relatives if there's any stuff they don't want, just to give you because you want to start a reselling business. And obviously you can give them a bit of the profit, maybe, because it's free. I've done this. I've got a shed to do, and I still haven't done it. If you've been watching my videos, if you're new, I've been saying I've been going to be cleaning out my shed for ages, because I know I've got lots of stuff in there that I probably could resell, because I'm struggling to actually move in my room now because I've got so much stuff. But first of all, instead of going to all these things, do your house first, wherever you live, and get free stuff. Because obviously if it's free, or you don't, well, it's not free, but if it's stuff you don't want anymore, it's better selling that stuff. One, to declutter. Two, because you don't have to go anywhere. And three, you're going to get some money out of it. But this is where I'm going to tell you now where to sell the things, where things are better to be sold than not. Obviously mentioned where you can get the items, and pretty much you can sell the items on everything as well. Obviously you can't sell them in charity shops, but everything I mentioned where you can get items, you can resell them on there as well. So for instance, Facebook is cheap. So for instance, you can sell on Facebook. Obviously people come around to your house and buy it, no fees. So it's 100% profit on whatever you sell. Vinted is free as well, but the only trouble about Vinted is you only can sell certain things. It's more for clothing. There's a few pottery things you can sell, toys you can sell on there. But the thing about Vinted is people do not like paying big money for stuff. So if you've got something that's quite expensive, like a really good pair of trainers, and they're worth like £100, you're not going to want to spend £100 on a pair of trainers unless they're worth £400. Then obviously the bargain. But if they're like worth 150 quid and you're selling for 100 quid, you're going to find it hard to buy them on there. So Vintage is more, I would say, for the lower brands. You can find bargains on there, and that's why I say buy stuff on there and then resell it on the other part, what I'm going to tell you in a minute, which is eBay. eBay is by far probably the best place to sell stuff because it's worldwide. You can sell it anywhere. On eBay, you can sell just to UK or wherever you're from, or you can say worldwide. But obviously, you got to remember about the fees, everything like that, because it is not free. You cannot sell anything on eBay and get 100% profit for it, because they take off a fee, and obviously then it comes off your profit. So you're careful about what you sell, how much you sell it for, because you need a profit. So if you buy something for £5 and you sell it for £10, you're probably gonna make you're probably not gonna make much money from it. You maybe a couple quid. So I always say, if you got certain products, sell them on Vinted, sell them on eBay, because on Vinted, if you sell it for £5, you're gonna make £5. If you sell it on eBay for £5, you're probably gonna make about £3.50, £4, you know. So just be careful. I would say eBay is better for higher cost products. Vintage is better for lower cost products. I think I want to go deep into now is actually eBay itself, because when you become a reseller and you've been doing it a while, I did it on Facebook, I did it on Vintage for a while, but then I moved to eBay because eBay, you just sell so much more. If you looked at my books where I write down everything, I always write down where it's been sold. And at the start it was Vinted, because I can sell toys on there and I can sell clothing on there. But when I started putting everything on eBay and buying different sorts of products which you couldn't sell on obviously Vinted, on Facebook, people don't really want certain weirder things, you know, like certain things that's not important. They more, you know, they probably want more like technology wise stuff that's more modern. eBay will basically, you can sell anything on there. If you cannot sell on eBay, it's never going to sell. And there is certain things that never do sell on eBay, but this is one of the things you just got to do. You got to have a learning curve, you know. And I've had things on eBay since I've started this and they still haven't sold, thinking they're worth something, or there might be, you know, like a vintage teddy, and it's never sold because it's just not sought after. It's no one wants it, you know. Somebody might want it, but it might be on there for a year, you know, but it's not even worth much anyway. So you got to think about, when you do buy stuff, what sells, what doesn't, and this is what I'm going to tell you. And this is probably the most important tip of this video. When you buy anything and you're thinking about selling it on eBay, you need to check. So what you need to do is you need to download the eBay app. This way it's just easier to find your items you've listed anyway, but also to search things, what are sold, what are selling, everything. So when you see something in a shop or on the carboot that you think is quite interesting, and you want to know how much it's selling for, type it in, or you can take a picture, or if it's got a barcode, you can scan it, and it'll come up with the listing, and it tell you what people are selling it at. But also in the corner, it will tell you, and you can scroll down and you can actually narrow it down to buy now, auction, where it's sold, you know, and new, used. But specifically, this is the most important part, is sold items. This is the most important because it doesn't matter what people are selling it at, because that's the price that they want for it. When you find the sold items, this tells you what it averagely sells at. Yes, you might have ones that are selling for more, you might have ones that are selling less. But you know averagely how much the item is actually selling for and how many sell in a month. If you see something is sold like 4 or 5 things in a month, it's worth getting. If you see something that hasn't sold really and there's only 1 or 2 in like 2 or 3 months, it's not worth it, unless it's very, very rare, you know, like a very vintage thing. Then maybe, you know, if you're getting it for a good price. But this is the way you make your money. So for instance, if you picked up something which is £2 and you're seeing it sold for £20, but it's been sold about 30 times in a month, you know this thing is something you need to find all the time and pick up, because it's going to give you constant money every single month until it's not wanted, you know, anymore. This is how you make money. This is the best way of finding out how anything sells on eBay, because this is the where you make a profit. You will not make a profit if you're just guessing. You need to check it. Unless you're an expert on stuff, you will not know how much stuff is sold for on eBay. And also, times and prices change throughout the year. Something could come up like a special event. So for instance, you might have a lot of Marvel stuff from, I know, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then a new film comes out, so that stuff will rise up in price. Maybe it might not, but you can check, can't you? And you then know that your stuff that you bought, which was cheap one time, now is now selling for £10 more. So you need to raise the price, or just keep it the same and not make as big as profit. So you need to check out the sold part, because it's very important. This is how you will make money. This is how you will not lose money. This is how you're gonna succeed in your eBay reselling career. Also, when you are selling stuff and listing stuff on eBay, people put a posted and package price on. You can either put free, or you can put as much as you really want. But obviously, if you put it on stupid amounts, it's got to actually relate to the size. eBay will not eBay will not allow you to just to put £100 posted packaging on. Right? You can obviously put on £60 for international. You can put on a little few more pounds to certain weight categories, or posted packaging, if it's first class, second class, whatever class. But it doesn't really matter what you put on. If you put it on free, obviously the fees are going to come off, and then you have to pay for every bit of your posted and packaging. So you're going to not make as much profit. I always put posted package on mine, but I put it on the right amount. So when the fees come off, and this is the only bad thing about eBay, they take off fees off everything. They don't just take off fees off the item sold. So what they will do is, say if you sell something for £20 and you got a posted packaging for like £5, they class it as a whole one thing, and then they take the fees off that, which is about just over 12%. So in all fairness, when you put posted and package on, it gets taken off. So you don't really get your posted and packaging paid for by the customer. It does come out your own pocket most of the time. But obviously, if you didn't put the posted and packaging on and you did it for free, then you're not going to get as big a fees, but it's going to come into your profit what you sold it for. So it's a lose-lose situation. But obviously, putting a bit of posted and packaging on means you're not losing anything as much off your sold item. Obviously, the more you sell the item for, the more fees come off. But this is where you need to find stuff that's expensive for cheap, and you don't want to buy something that's really expensive and you're only making 20 quid profit, because you will not make no profit. You actually probably lose profit. So be careful on buying big things. You don't want to buy something that's like 60 quid and you can make 20 quid, because after fees you probably will be actually losing money on something like that. So now you have made a sale and you're thinking, great, I've made £20 off this, but how am I going to post it? What, I ain't got nothing to post it. So before you even get any of the stuff, you need to make sure you have got some stuff to actually get and post the stuff in. So you need to make sure what you're selling first. If you're selling clothes, you don't need cardboard, you don't need anything like that. All you need to do is get some sleeves. You can buy them on eBay, you can buy them on Amazon, you can buy a big pack of them, and make sure you get different sizes. So get an A4 one and an A3 one, because obviously you're selling coats, they're a bit bigger, and that's all you need. If you're selling just like anything, random stuff, you need cardboard, you need obviously bubble wrap or some sort of polyester wrapping. Might need actually polystyrene, newspaper, anything to pad out the stuffs, because you need to protect the stuff, especially with ceramic. I've had about 3 or 4 things break on me because it wasn't packed well enough, or it was packed well enough, I say it, because delivery drivers do not care. They will chuck it. They will absolutely chuck it. And imagine you've just sold one of your first items which was a really nice item. You've made yourself £30 on an item, and then the customer says it's broke. So then your fees will all go away. They'll get a refund. eBay will not reimburse you because eBay are terrible at that. The only way you're going to get compensation is if you obviously get it tracked and signed for, and compensation if anything breaks. But obviously then you're paying more postage, which some customers don't. I would probably do that if it's like expensive stuff. So anything over £30, which is like breakable, I would put on like some compensation. So if it does get broken, at least you're going to get some compensation back. But anything under 20 quid or anything that doesn't break, you don't need to put any insurance on that unless it gets lost, which get some tracking on, because then you at least will be able to fight with the actual delivery driver, the company, and say, well, you haven't delivered it, so where is it? And then they'll give you some compensation that way. I am going to be doing another video about how to postage and pack things for absolutely free. I can't do in this video because I'll be here all day, but yeah, I'm going to do a video about how to actually package things for free, where to get all the stuff for free so it can save you a bit more money. And obviously when you are a bit more in the money, I would say, then you can afford to buy more stuff, but you don't need to buy absolutely anything to post stuff, because you could do it all for free if you want to, and it's very, very easy to get. So that is all you basically need to know about reselling. There is one more thing before I finish this video, and it's a quite important one. So if you are still listening to this, thank you very much. Obviously, if you are new, subscribe and like the video. Comment down below if you are a new reseller, or you've been reselling for an age and you want to ask me something. But one thing I'm going to leave you with, which I would say is quite important, you need to think about how much you want to spend. Meaning, are you going to have a budget, or are you just going to spend as much as when you want, or as little as when you want? It is important to budget, because if you don't budget, you will just go spiraling out of control. I mean, if you've got endless amounts of money, it probably won't affect you. But if you have got, like, obviously got a budget on so much you can spend a week or a month, budget at the start. You know, I'm doing this video for beginners, so just make sure that you are budgeting to what you can live on. I wouldn't go out there and just go boom and just buy loads of stuff. I wouldn't go out there and just spend loads of money on big things. Like I said, go and sell the stuff in your house which you don't use first, and get stuff for free, I would say, you know, from other people who don't want it. And then when you're thinking about going to charity shops or car boots, think about how much you want to spend. Have a budget of like either a week. So for instance, if you've got a spare £20 a week, only spend £20 a week, you know, no matter what. If you see one item which is too good not to have, then just spend that and keep it like that. If you've got a load of items for 20 quid, then do it that way. Don't overdo it, you know, take your time, make sure you are not spending loads and loads of money, because all that'll do is give you so much pressure. Because if you go and spend £100 in a day, then it's just going to pressure on you when you're new and hoping that it's all going to sell. And because you are new, eBay is not going to exactly promote your stuff. There's still algorithms with eBay, yes. Unfortunately, algorithms are everywhere now. They push other people's stuff more than yours. It's always going to be on there. You know, don't worry about it. It will be on there. It's not like it's in a corner and no one's ever going to see it. It will be in there. But you don't want to be on tender hooks, I would say, thinking, oh no, I've spent like £100. If I don't get this money back by a week, I'm in trouble. You don't want to be doing reselling like that, because if you do, then you're just going to end up spiraling out of debt, and then maybe you'll spend some more hoping it will get some more sales, and it won't. Being a reseller is risky. I gotta admit, it is risky. It does take time to understand how it works. It is easy when you do get the swing of it. I am no expert, I always ask people, go and join communities, get on Instagram, join people who resell. I've got a few people that I can really trust with stuff. And even me today, I went around a local auction. I saw some cameras that I was interested in. I saw some pottery I was interested in. And I know somebody who's really good, and all she does is sell pottery. I know somebody who sells a lot of stuff, and he said he's got 2 of them and he's struggling to sell them. So you've got to know people who are been in the business for a while, maybe experts in different fields, so then you can ask them. Obviously eBay is going to help you as well, but I always say, what is the point in spending £20 on one item that could give you £10 when you could buy 20 items at £1, which could each get you maybe £5 to £10 each? So you're going to make a bigger profit, and going to sell more. And the more you do sell, the more feedback you want to get. And that's when eBay starts liking your profile, your eBay shop more, because you're going to be getting more likes, more feedback. Obviously, they think, well, your shop's quite good. We're going to promote your stuff more. You don't even know about them not promoting, but obviously they do promote your stuff, And I've noticed this month, I've sold double the amount of stuff than the month before. So it's only going to get better and better. Of course, the more then the items you get, the more you sell, and that's when it starts making sense a bit more. The profits are better. You buy stuff and you basically put it on, and it sells within a day. Other items you will sell and it'll take a month. Other ones will never sell. But this is all a learning curve. You need to find out what sells, what's not. Anything that you are good at, I would say, is a great way of selling stuff on eBay. So if you're an expert at something, say you're an expert at being a mechanic, say if your job's a mechanic, selling car parts is a brilliant way of being a reseller, because every car part, how much it costs for that car part. If you can get car parts, you're obviously not going to get them in a charity shop, but in carboot, if you see people selling car parts, how much they cost. And it could help you on your business as well if you're like a self-employed mechanic. For instance, you might be obsessed with comics, cartoons, stuff like that. So you might want to collect cartoons. You might want to collect vintage stuff, because you know lots about it where other people might not know. So what's a rare comic from a not rare comic. Your world's your oyster in reselling. Or you could be a person just wants a bit of jack of all trades like myself, where I buy stuff that I like the look of, but if it doesn't make me a profit, I won't buy it. Some things I might buy which is a pound, but it only sells for £7. But to me, £5 is £5. If I can, I know I will sell it, so it's a profit to me. It all depends. Everybody is different. I'm different from the next seller to that seller's different from the next seller. So in the end of the day, you want to enjoy it as well. And trust me, if you have not set up an account yet, do it. The first thing is to do it, and then just find a few items in your house and sell them, and then you start getting the bug. Yeah, I'm gonna say a shout out to somebody, one of my mates, Martin, because he was like showing me he set up an eBay account because he's saw me do it, and he's got like really excited over a few items, but which he's only sold like a few things which are tiny, I would say tiny amounts, but to him it was amazing. He doesn't need to do it, he's got a proper good job, but yeah, but he's got the bug now. So yeah, hopefully Martin, if you are watching this, hopefully you do watch it. There's a bit more advice because we only see each other when we're drunk, so you know it's he'll probably watch this now and actually learn something off it. But if you did enjoy this, obviously give me a massive thumbs up. Comment down below if it did help you, and obviously stay tuned because I'm not just gonna be going around charity shops and showing you what I picked up. But yeah, I will be doing that stuff. But I also want to help people. I don't want to just do videos about what I've picked up and what I've made, because yes, they are interesting and it's amazing when you see them. But also I want to help people to set up their own reselling businesses, or teach you something that, or certain things that I think you should buy into because they're worth finding. You know, it's not just all about reselling and showing you me having a day out at the car boot, because it's fun, but I don't think people want to watch that every single week. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time with another video.